It's uh it's kind of scary whenever you get to looking at the material that man has today that can not only destroy himself but destroy us too as well. It could destroy the whole face of the planet if nuclear activity gets in the hands of the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? And that may be what God already done foreseen whenever He said that the world the second time, whenever it gets destroyed, will be destroyed by fire and brimstone. If we had a massive amount of missiles that was being fired off that had nuclear radiation in them, that would be fire and brimstone, would it not?
We don't know how much stuff North Korea's got.
They claim we have enough nuclear stuff on the planet right now that we can destroy the face of the planet 700 times.
Right. And
700 times.
North Korea may have enough stuff that they could destroy the whole world themselves.
Who's to say? And that's all it's going to take is for some idiot to try to hold the world hostage and say, look, if y'all don't do what we're requiring for you to do, then this is what's going to happen to you. And that would be buckling under tyranny. And the United States has never buckled under tyranny, have they? Have they?
Not that I know of.
This thing could be over with before we go to bed tonight. You know, we're that close of something, a radical behavior happening within the next 24 hours. It's that close.
And people think they're going to live forever, too.
Well, we will either heaven or hell.
I'm talking about on this earth.
Oh, yeah.
They live like they're going to live forever.
But let me ask you a question. How come people didn't accept my message back years ago whenever I promoted it hard and heavy to all the Northwest Tennessee churches in this area?
They wasn't used to that kind of teaching. It just wasn't used. They didn't want to accept the fact. I think people they're not accepting the fact now, but they are accepting it more so now
Than what they did back then?
Yes, yeah.
Whenever it comes,
they're acknowledging the fact.
Yeah.
Not accepting it, but they're acknowledging. Yes, this can happen.
Yes. Yes.
Back then, everybody was living
the good life.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody had their bills paid.
Economy was booming.
Everybody had their bills paid.
And we wouldn't having all these hurricanes and wouldn't have
commotions,
earthquakes, and all these fires. We wasn't having that stuff back
well,
then.
not only that, but we wasn't having the rioting that's now happening in St. Louis and Ferguson and other parts of the country, and now we'll have a ball team, regardless whether it's football, basketball, or whatever, that would deliberately scorn the American flag openly on national TV, and you didn't have that type of belligerent attitude back then neither. I just can't believe that people want to come over here to America. They want to ride our nice roads. They want to become accustomed to our nice lakes and our hospitals and all the other stuff that we have over here, but yet no, they want to slander the American flag, or they want to burn it, or they don't want to pledge allegiance to our flag. I can't. Something within me tells me that has to be wrong. It's kind of like the Amish and the Mennonite people that are under some sort of special statute to where that they don't have to pay no state and federal taxes, but yet now, whenever they get ready to retire, they can't draw a retirement check like everybody else because they ain't never paid into the system. But you got to acknowledge that even though they're not paying into the system, they're still driving up and down nice roads. They're still having access to nice hospitals. We got nice things over here in America that the majority of the countries don't have. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think that's fair neither, do you?
No, he don't even have to speak the American language.
No, it's like an occult. It's like an occult. I mean, and I'm not saying that the Mennonite people and the Amish people aren't good people, because by and large, from what I can tell, most of them are really, really decent, good people. They really are. But you do have to admit that the tax clause, the statute that they're under, it's mind-boggling whenever they can come over here and enjoy our nice things, and they don't have to pay for it. I don't understand that.
You've probably studied Mennonite belief doctrine, but you probably do know this. But a lot of people don't know this. But the Mennonites and Amish, they have the closest doctrine to the Baptist there is.
Yes.
Their beliefs.
Yes, they do. They do, and I agree with a lot of their methods.
Yeah.
With a lot of their methods, you know, yes, ma'am. As far as putting all the men on one side of the church and all the women on the other side of the church, the type of clothing that you wear, not only in church but also your attire that you get out here and expose yourself to the public to. They really have some good ethnic rules and regulations. They really do. But there's other cultures out there that does too as well. I mean, some of your Native American people, to be able to be on their roll call, you have to meet certain requirements. So they're not the only ones out there that has good intentions. Let me put it that way. Look at the Mormons. The Mormons has probably one of the strongest family-oriented teachings of any organization here in America. You know what I'm saying? Whenever it comes to their teachings towards family, they're very, very positive, pro whatever you want to call it. Whenever it comes to raising a family, I just can't see putting as much emphasis on Joseph Smith as I do Jesus Christ. Can you?
No.
I really can't. And a lot of times, and I don't know if they do it ignorantly, but a lot of times I'll sit and I'll listen to what they're preaching and teaching, and they'll emphasize as much or more on Joseph Smith than they do up on the Lord Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, you got to look at another organization, which is the organization of Lutheran, Martin Luther. Martin Luther was considered a prophet in his day and time that the Romans denounced and almost caused him an early death, which was the branch off that come about towards manufacturing the Lutheran church. But whenever you go to a Lutheran church, you don't hear them emphasize on preaching about Martin Luther more so than you do the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, they're very liberal whenever it comes to their teachings, which I don't agree with. They just accept just any and everything into their pulpit, which I don't go along with. But they don't emphasize on Martin Luther. They don't preach Martin Luther, Martin Luther, Martin Luther. Even though it was Martin Luther that founded the organization, and that's where they got the name from. But I wanted to come back by here. I was in the area, and you got a beautiful place. I want to kind of look at over here, your pond and stuff. You're definitely gifted, blessed that God has given you what you've got. Now, do you mow all that back on the other side of the water with a bush hog or something back over? Do you? You do all that yourself? Even at your age? How old are you now? How old are you? You got
71.
71.